Hey there, my name is Alex. I am the Silver Mont, and we'll talk a little about Helldivers 2 in this video. Not exactly a review, because usually I like to review a game once I've beaten it. I've not beaten Helldivers 2, and it's not really a game you can beat. There's 9 difficulty levels, and at time of writing I've gotten about halfway through those, but I'm going to give my thoughts on the game whilst it's fresh in mind, and I never played Helldivers 1, but it was one of those games I looked at and kept thinking, I'll grab that at some point. And then one day they announced Helldivers 2, and I thought, oh, that looks cool, I'll grab that instead. Fast forward to release, and Helldivers 2 has taken off in a way I'm not sure anyone could have anticipated, which is always nice to see for a smaller game like this. There's been a lot of talk in the industry lately how the AAA model isn't really sustainable, and unfortunately, it's kind of being proven true with all these mass layoffs that's beginning this year. Same is true with movies. Not every single movie needs to cost $200 million to make. Same with video games. Not every game needs to be AAA mega release, taking 12 years and 500 grillion man-hours to make, But what is Helldivers 2? Starship Troopers. In a phrase, yes, that. Functionally, Helldivers 2 is a co-op game wherein you shoot a lot of bugs and robots and other enemies of humanity. Superhumanity? You pick a planet, you drop down, you do objectives such as launching missiles, destroying assets, rescuing civilians, all whilst fighting off waves of disgusting creatures with ridiculous weapons. You have the ridiculous weapons, not the enemies. Actually, they have them too, so... Now, your character in Helldivers 2 can equip a long arm and a sidearm, I guess you could say, such as an assault rifle and a pistol. Most of these weapons are pretty generic, shotguns, rifles, blah blah blah. The more interesting stuff is what you call down, like support or heavy weaponry. Every Helldiver has a wrist-mounted computer, which you can slap codes into, such as up, up, down, right, or up, down, left, right, BA, select, start, whatever. And the codes correspond to orbital drops. This can be calling in reinforcements after someone on your team dies, effectively respawning them. It can be calling down more ammo and grenades and health, or it can be calling down heavy weaponry, calling down a gun turret, a giant machine gun, an autocannon, flamethrower, other devastating ballistics. You can also call down things like orbital strikes, strafing runs from a fighter craft, gun placements, gun turrets. I think I already said that actually, but you get the idea. You push in code, thing comes down, you use thing, kill bugs. The game is light on narrative. It isn't a story-heavy or campaign-focused game. Not in the traditional sense. There are campaigns within the game, but used more in the military sense. You create your character, but this is largely irrelevant. The customization comes more from the game's, I guess you could call them battle passes. Helldivers 2 has 3 main forms of currency: credits that you spend on purchasing upgrades, medals that are used to unlock things in what we'll call the battle pass. Actually, I think credits are called requisition slips or something, but then you have the premium currency, the premium credits, which are used to buy items from the cash shop, and you also need those to buy the premium battle pass. This premium currency can be obtained with real money transactions. It can also be acquired in-game through the standard battle pass, and the premium one, and also found in levels here and there. All of this means you can buy the premium battle pass and things in the cash shop even if you don't spend any additional cash. And if I understand it correctly, the battle pass in Helldivers, the season pass, which is called I think War Bonds this time around, it isn't going to vanish after a few weeks or months. They will simply add a new one whilst keeping the current ones, so there's no fear of missing out. If I'm understanding it correctly, that's the sort of implication I'm getting from all this though. This would be a good move because removing content from your game to try and incentivize players to spend money so they don't miss out is a horrible practice that should be illegal. So there is a microtransaction shop, but Helldivers 2 is a fairly generous and fair one compared to many other modern games. Helldivers 2 is also a $40 game, it's worth pointing out. The actual gameplay is smooth enough. You can crouch, you can dive, you can sprint around, but whilst I haven't really experienced the higher levels of difficulty, part of me wonders if the endgame might just turn into effectively just spamming your cooldowns whilst running around waiting for them to come back, with basic weapons rendered somewhat useless and irrelevant. Like, I'm starting to run into that a little bit already, I feel like. A lot of enemies have such powerful armor that unless you're using something like a railgun or an autocannon, you might as well just call in an orbital strike of some description, because your little plinky assault rifle's not really going to do anything. I could just be playing it wrong though, but right now I feel like some of the primary weapons might become useless at higher levels, but we'll see. Anyway, the game definitely had a rough launch due to the huge number of people hammering the servers, and I've had a few crashes and weird things happen, like sometimes you'll open like a bunker and there'll be 3 items in there you can pick up. If you try and pick, like if you run up there and press like EEE, being the pickup button, it doesn't work. You have to go E, 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 because if you do it too fast, you don't get them. There's a few weird little things like that, which I'm sure they can improve with patches, but just giving my experiences with the game so far. And there seems to be plenty of future content coming to the game, such as mechs, which is of course the big one for me. I like mechs. It's the most important part. Love mechs. Love autocannons. Love shooting 5 trillion bullets in a minute. Hate bugs. Now, all that said, whilst Helldivers 2 is a commendable game, and a lot of fun, I'm not sure if I can suggest you picking up a copy if you don't have someone to play with. Yes, you can play with randoms, but to me this is one of those games that would only really be worth it if you have at least 1, but preferably 3, other people to enjoy it with. If you do, it's very fun to spend an afternoon or an evening waddling around, detonating bugs, then having your friend blow you up with an orbital strike, and then getting revenge by clubbing them in the back of the head, sending them cartwheeling down a ravine, and claiming it was a disgusting bug that did it, you know? So yes, short version, grab the game if you have people to play it with. If you don't, well, your mileage may vary. But it's a fun game, and we need more of these A games, AA games, lower budget, lower cost, sustainable sort of longevity, and not completely disrespecting the customer's time and money. Oh, one other thing, there's also some sort of DRM or anti-cheat in Helldivers 2, which I am completely against. I will never really be in favour of those things. DRM, never, because it doesn't work. Worst case scenario, it makes it harder for people who are pirating and cracking games, but then it also can like affect the actual game performance or cause other problems. As for anti-cheat, well, in theory, yes, I don't want to experience cheaters, I don't want to come across cheaters and hackers, but it, again, doesn't work, and this isn't a PvP game. If someone's cheating in your game, you can just leave, go in a private session or something. I feel like the anti-cheat is there in this game, so that people don't just, I don't know, cheat themselves in like 1 billion super credits. You know, the real money transaction stuff. But again, who cares? I really hope they remove that DRM anti-cheat. I think it's called like Enigma or something. But other than that, I have no real issues with the game. And thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you next time. Ciao.